All right, the Trevor Theismann Show. Today's topic is going to be something you should be doing most definitely if you have a young child that is trying to compete in athletics. I tell you, it's one of the most underlooked things that you should be doing for sure, is motivating your kid to eat and sleep right. If you don't know anything about nutrition and you've got some young athletes that are super motivated and want to play hard, and that's who I'm talking to. I'm not talking about the average Joe that's just out trying to have a little bit of fun. I'm talking about the athletes that think they're going to go to the next level, have ambitions to play college, want to get into professional ball of any kind. These are the kids that you need to get a little bit more educated so that you can help them the best way that you can. And I tell you, the thing that you learn, whether it be fitness or moving through athletics in my own right, eating and sleeping right is very, very important. These kids have so many distractions these days, it's unbelievable. And none of them are really probably going to help them much in life unless you've got the one kid that's going to be this magical YouTuber. You've got the one kid that's going to be the gamer that makes, $20,000 a month filming himself gaming. I'm not saying that these things don't exist. I'm just saying that as time goes on, those things may not always be the most effective thing for an athlete that's trying to get to the next level. You've got to make them understand that sleeping better makes them grow muscle. Sleeping better helps them be more effective in coordination and focus. Sleeping better is basically the holy grail of all performance. So maybe get your kids on a bit more of a schedule, or at least educate them on the idea of how much you should be sleeping. And the other part, I would say, that an easy thing to do for parents to help your kid is, most of the time you are the chef. You are the one in control of what these kids are eating. And if you don't understand at all what they're supposed to be eating, I'm not saying that you're hurting their performance, but it all just depends what your goal is. Do they just want to play soccer here and there? Or do they want to play for Sporting KC? Does a baseball player want to pitch in college at Texas A&M? Or are they just looking at making the high school team? Most of these things aren't going to be super imperative for someone that's just a casual gamer. But if you really want to get to the next level, then parents, you've got to get out there and educate yourself a little bit on what you should be feeding them. Fast food, of course, not so much. We need steaks, we need meats, we need protein. Look up some of these calorie counting apps. Look at different studies that you can find very easily. Utilize Google and educate yourself as much as possible on the foods that they should be eating. And I would say it's really generally pretty simple. I've counted calories for nearly a decade, adding things to an app, tracked many, many, many individuals to know the calorie counts of probably everything in the world that I would ever consume. And I tell you, it can be way more simple than that. My advice to you would be simple. Have some kind of a protein in your diet 3 to 4 times a day. So if the only snacks you have in your cupboard are cereal and granola bars, that is probably not going to be that great of an idea. Cook in bulk. When you make things for dinner, make too much of them so that your child can reach in there the next day during the afternoon and maybe have access to a chicken breast. Maybe have access to some extra steak. Maybe they can make a steak quesadilla, but you can't make a steak quesadilla if you don't have any steak. So think about these things. Get a bit of a template in your mind that you need to get some fruits and vegetables as a young athlete to get carbohydrates and those sorts of things. I'm sure your teenagers are going to be eating candy and all kinds of other trash. I did too. I did too. And, partying is also a part of this stuff where you got those late night pizzas and all those things. And I don't really see a problem with any of these things. Live your life. But on the day-to-day, you've got to think 7 days a week. You are the chef. You are the cook. You are the orderer of all the food. So make sure that you're mixing those types of things in. You should have some kind of a protein serving 3 to 4 times a day if you're a super competitive athlete. You should be eating vegetables several meals out of the week. Now, I understand that not every day you're going to get some veggies in, but if you know your child hasn't had a green vegetable in 3 days, you probably want to mix some in so they're getting enough of those types of vitamins in their diet to help them perform and recover faster. We're not talking about the average Joe. We're talking about someone that's serious about moving to the next level. But I would be careful with supplements as well. I think supplements have really got a huge stage in the past decade because of bodybuilding, because of athlete endorsements, but you can get a majority of all of the excess calories and protein that you need from an adequate diet. And most of it just has to come down to the parent stepping in and making those decisions for their young athletes. And, this isn't really like a public service announcement or anything, but when I was growing up, I didn't really know all there was to know about nutrition. I didn't really know that part of the game. It was, eat whatever was cooked, worked as hard as I could. I would train every single day from 3:30 to 5:30 basically, and then I'd go about my day, was always working out. And the one thing that I wish that I would have taken more time to understand was the nutritional side of it. And me raising kids myself, I won't do the same thing where I'm not informing them of decisions they should be making and how to perform better. If they don't really want to perform better, I'm not a pusher. I'm not saying that you need to drive chicken breast down a kid's throat. But if you have a kid that really wants to take things to the next level or has any ambitions in playing in the college level, you can help them dramatically by helping them find this information, but not only find the information, but also preparing the foods. It's not that difficult to make a menu and then overcook dinners. If you make a menu and you say you have like a breakfast food night, so you make a boatload of eggs, generally speaking, that's going to set your kid up if you make enough eggs for a couple breakfasts for the next couple days. There you go. Problem solved. Next night, say you're making, taco night, Taco Tuesday, right? Taco Tuesday. You make some chicken breasts, you cut them up, you get ground beef, mix them up, put some of that taco seasoning on it. You make about 2-3 pounds of that. Say you got one athlete, maybe you got 3 in the house. You make 5 pounds of that ground beef. If you make enough ground beef while you're on the stove, you've got tons of lunches as well as snacks that are super easy for those kids to get into in the next couple days. So think about those kinds of things when you're trying to help your athlete get to the next level. But I would say too, be conscious of, their personality and make sure you're not pushing things down their throat. You'd hate to have the teenager that had all these abilities and could possibly get to the next level, but you pushed them way too hard and forced them to do a bunch of stuff that they didn't want to. And let's be honest, as soon as a kid's near a certain age, all of a sudden they think you're wrong about everything. So play that teeter-totter game and try to prepare enough meals to give your kids the adequate amount of nutrition that they need so they can perform at their best. All right, the soapbox is over. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.